in the deepest, darkest heart of the misty jungle, where the air hangs heavy and shadows dance with secrets. The night was never truly silent. There was always a whisper carried on the wind, the lonely hoot of an owl, the nervous rustle of leaves, and the unsettling feeling of being watched from the darkness. For months, this jungle, once a sanctuary of life, had become a kingdom of fear. A ruthless gang of criminals had claimed it as their own, a lawless domain where they operated with impunity. Their chainsaws screamed through ancient trees. Their rifles echoed as they hunted rare and beautiful animals, and their presence cast a long, dark shadow over the nearby villages. The people lived in constant terror, their homes and livelihoods threatened. No one dared to stand against them. The authorities were too far, the jungle too dense, and the criminals too brutal. Hope had withered like a leaf in the dry season. Until one day, a lone figure walked into the forest. He wasn't a soldier or a lawman. He was a man of science, a man of quiet contemplation. His name was Dr. Arian. He carried with him a past shrouded in secrecy, a past defined by a single, fateful decision. Years ago, driven by a desire to unlock human potential, he had conducted a dangerous experiment on himself. The results were catastrophic, yet extraordinary. The experiment had planted a seed within him, a seed that germinated in the soil of intense emotion. Whenever overwhelming anger or paralyzing fear gripped his heart, a terrifying transformation would begin. His body would contort and change. Muscles would swell to an impossible size. His skin would shift to a deep, earthy green, and his eyes would ignite with a fierce, otherworldly glow. He became something else. Something powerful. Something he struggled to control. He became a creature of raw, untamed force. He sought refuge in the jungle's solitude, hoping to contain the beast within, to live a life of peace, far from the stresses that could unleash it. He built a small, hidden lab, continuing his research, not to enhance his power, but to find a cure, to become just Dr. Aaron again. He learned the jungle's rhythms, its sounds, its secrets. He felt a connection to the ancient trees and the wild creatures that called this place home. He saw the devastation the criminals were causing and felt a slow-burning rage, a dangerous emotion he fought to suppress every single day. He knew what would happen if he let it take over. Then came that fateful night. A storm was brewing, not just in the sky, but on the ground. The criminals, emboldened by their unchallenged reign, decided to raid the nearest village, demanding food, supplies, and anything of value. Dr. Aaron, from his secluded shelter, heard it all. The night's whispers were shattered by the piercing sound of human screams. Screams of terror, of desperation. He saw the flickering torchlight as armed men chased terrified villagers through the trees. He saw families being torn apart, their homes ransacked. A child cried out, a sound that cut through Aaron like a knife. And in that moment, something inside him snapped. The dam of his control broke. The careful walls he had built around his emotions crumbled into dust. A roar, deep and guttural, not of a man but of something primal, tore through the jungle. It was a sound of pure, unadulterated fury. The very ground began to tremble as if an earthquake had been unleashed. From the deepest shadows, a colossal figure emerged. It was him, but not him. The creature, the monster, the force of nature he had tried so hard to cage. It stood twice the height of a man, a mountain of green muscle and rage. The criminals, caught off guard, stared in disbelief before raising their weapons. The night erupted in flashes of gunfire. Bullets, which would have felled any other living thing, simply bounced off the creature's impenetrable skin. Like pebbles against a mountain, they might as well have been throwing stones. The creature didn't even flinch, its glowing eyes fixed on the men who had brought such pain to this sacred place. With a thunderous bellow, it charged. What followed wasn't a fight. It was a reckoning. The creature moved with terrifying speed and strength. One by one, he dispatched the criminals not with malice, but with overwhelming force. He threw them away as if they were nothing more than dry leaves caught in a storm. He tossed their vehicles into the dense undergrowth, crumpled their weapons like tinfoil. Some of the men dropped their guns and ran, screaming into the night. their reign of terror over in a heartbeat. Others, paralyzed by fear, simply fainted where they stood. They had met a power far beyond their comprehension. As the last of the criminals fled, a heavy silence fell over the jungle, broken only by the whimpers of the frightened villagers and the creature's heavy breathing. The rage began to subside, replaced by something else. The monster, the agent of destruction, didn't continue its rampage. Its glowing eyes softened as it looked upon the chaos left behind. It saw the fear in the villagers' eyes, but it also saw their suffering. And then, the hero emerged from within the beast. With a gentleness that defied its monstrous appearance, the creature began to help. Its massive hands, which had just tossed men like dolls, now carefully lifted fallen trees that blocked the paths. It moved with surprising precision, rebuilding the broken walls of their humble huts. Piece by piece, it found the injured, hidden amongst the chaos, and with immense care, carried them to the village center where they could be tended to. The villagers watched, their fear slowly turning into awe, and then into a profound sense of gratitude. They saw that this creature wasn't a mindless beast. It was a protector. As the first light of dawn painted the sky in shades of orange and pink, the transformation reversed. The giant form shrank. The greenskin faded, and the exhausted but familiar figure of Dr. Aaron stood in its place, his clothes torn, his body aching. The villagers finally understood. The terrifying monster of the jungle and the quiet doctor were one and the same. The creature they had feared all along was actually their savior. From that day forward, life in the jungle changed. The criminals never returned, their story becoming a cautionary tale whispered in distant towns. The jungle began to heal. New trees were planted, and the animals slowly returned, and the villagers no longer lived in fear. They knew they had a guardian. Whenever a storm rolled in, and thunder echoed through the forest, and the wind roared through the trees like a mighty beast, the people wouldn't hide. They would look towards the heart of the jungle and whisper to their children, "Don't be afraid. He's not a monster. He's our hero." Dr. Aaron never found his cure, but perhaps, in the deep green heart of the jungle, he found something better. A purpose. He found that the beast within him didn't have to be a curse. He could be a shield, a guardian, a hero. Thank you so much for watching this story unfold. If you enjoyed this tale of the hero within, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more stories like this. We love having you as part of our community. See you in the next video.